Hey, what's up guys, Shiny here, come back with a brand new video for you guys. Antwerp has finally been removed from the stores, so we're going to be going over everything to do with that, plus my own personal investments and a couple other things. Let's hop on into it. First up, we obviously got to be talking about the Antwerp removal here. Today, Valve decided to finally go ahead and remove it, and it's finally happening. It's been a while. Little bit disappointed that we didn't reach that January 20th date, but after Stockholm, at least in my opinion, it was to be a bit expected that we wouldn't actually see a removal on that date. Now, don't get me wrong, I obviously would have loved that, and investors would have been very happy if we saw that short of a sale, but at least we did not see as long of a sale as RMR, because that's the biggest killer here. Although we have seen in the past that the amount of capsules bought day after day for how long a sale is definitely starts to fall off quite a bit after like the first week or two, it's still definitely not a good thing when we see sales as long as RMR. But getting back to the actual Antwerp capsules here, I do see a decent amount of potential moving forward. However, I do want to claim that I have predicted something. Now, obviously, we got to move back to the Antwerp capsules here, and in one of my past videos, unfortunately, I couldn't find it, but I claimed that we would probably see a lot more people investing into the Contenders and the Challengers capsules once again, instead of the Legends, because what we saw with the Stockholm capsules is a lot of people went towards the Legends capsules because in the past, Legends capsules had always been performing slightly better, even though they had a much higher quantity than the other two capsules. Now, this was in form of autograph when we were talking about everything else other than Stockholm, and RMR is a little bit questionable to bring into it, but at least in my opinion, I do still think that we are seeing a ton more people invest into this Contender and Challengers capsule, more specifically talking about the actual team sticker capsules here than the autograph. We'll get into those in just a second, but talking about the team sticker capsule, I think we've been seeing so many more people paying attention to these because of what happened in Stockholm, which is not necessarily a good or a bad thing in my opinion. It's just something that you really should note. And speaking on that fact, unfortunately I don't have up-to-date numbers because of everything going on with the discontinuing. All the numbers are a little bit skewed, but almost every analysis I did on the capsules showed that the Contenders and the Challengers were miles ahead of where the Legends was in an ROI return when you were to open it, meaning that there was still a lot of Legends capsules out there. Now, there's been a lot of talk about if Antwerp is going to be oversupplied, especially with the prominence of Stockholm investing. I mean, Stockholm investments were really the talk of the town right before we got into Antwerp because so many people were profiting such a significant amount. We saw capsules that were seeing a 12 times return in less than 6 months, which is absolutely crazy, especially in today's date of CSGO investing. Now, I've said before and I'll say it again, Antwerp is going to be overinvested to some extent, but the fact is, how will we see Antwerp prevail in the future? Now, the biggest thing is Antwerp's got that Stockholm competitor, and that's going to be the biggest focus moving forward on is if Antwerp is really that much more desirable than Stockholm. We've got the glitter stickers with Antwerp, which is definitely going to help it out, but is people really going to be choosing the Stockholm hollows or the Antwerp hollows? Because that's where the main focus of both of these capsules come in, considering they look very similar in every other aspect. It's going to be coming down to if people are willing to pay more for the Antwerp hollows because they are rarer, or if people are going to be going with the cheaper option in Stockholm because it's just more convenient. Now we get to move into my actual investment, which I'm very excited to share with you guys. First up, the biggest investment I made was in the Contenders capsule. I bought 600 of these because I do think the Contenders capsule is one that shows a great amount of future potential. We've got a lot of teams. One that I've talked a ton about is 9Z, because I do think 9Z definitely does have the potential to never make another major again, which would be very good for investment purposes. You combine that with the fact that this Contenders capsule was the only one to ever peak over 100% return at some point, and I do think that this Contenders capsule definitely does have a really good recipe moving forward. There's not too many teams in this capsule that are really big disappointments, but even so, only 2 dud teams is really good, especially when we compare it to the other capsules, and those 2 other capsules I do have a pretty big investment in as well. Moving on into the Challengers sticker capsule here. Now this one, I'll be honest, I'm not really that big of a fan of it. I only bought into it because it did have a decent ROI in the past, Plus, it does have a decent amount of well-known teams in there, one of which is Bad News Eagles, which if this is the only CSGO major they ever make, that sticker is probably going to be decently valuable, although I do doubt that's the actual case. It's mainly that Imperial sticker and Imperial Hollows that are mainly keeping the price of the actual returns up. In my opinion, this is the most boring out of the three. I went ahead and I bought 500 of these as well, just because I did think there is some potential down the line that if we see another sticker start to go up in value along with that Imperial sticker, this one could be a really popular capsule to open. Finally, rounding out the team sticker capsules here, I went with the Legends capsule and I bought 500 of these as well. I do think that the Legends capsule is going to have the hardest time moving forward. However, I could not pass on the opportunity for the best sticker we've ever seen for Cloud9. The Cloud9 Hollow here is looking absolutely amazing and was the one specific reason I bought a ton of these capsules. This is one I actually started off with 300 and then I went up to 400 and then I went up to 500 just because I have so much faith that this Cloud9 Hollow looks so good. Even if the price does not go absolutely insane, I might open up some of these to try and pull that just because I think it looks so good in crafts, and Cloud9 is such an iconic team for CSGO. Other than that, you've got Na'Vi and FaZe and Furia, three other big teams. This is pretty much every big team you could want, and I do think that this capsule does have some potential down the line, which is decent enough in my opinion. After that, we've got our 4 autograph capsules here. Now I went with 400 of the Contenders autograph. This is the one with the Rocks Hollow, and I think that's pretty much enough information that you need at this point. The Rocks Hollow has been one that's absolutely crazy in price, and I can't pass up on the opportunity for another autograph to go crazy in price in that capsule and absolutely blow this one up. I went with 400, but honestly, I don't know if I'm going to buy more after the fact. If they come down in price or stay around that 25-cent price point, I might pick up 100 or 200 extra just because I do think this capsule definitely does have some potential. Other than that, I went with 300 of the Challengers, 300 of the Legends. Both of these, I didn't want to go too high because I don't see anything specific that pops out to me, but I could definitely see down the line we see an autograph or two start to go up in value pretty quickly and the capsule price goes up 10 or 20 cents. I don't see a ton of future potential with this one blowing up in price, but I do definitely see some potential of it maybe hitting 35, 40, 45 cents without too much strain. And then finally, I went ahead and I only bought 100 of the Champion autographs, and I did not buy these ones from the Steam store. All of the other 2,600 capsules I bought directly from Steam for 25 cents. The other ones, the Champion autograph here, I bought for 18.2 cents each on Buff just because these ones are so cheap on Buff that it would just be absolutely stupid not to do this. All of the other capsules, at least at the time I was buying them, were around 20 to 20.5 cents per, and I figured I'd use up some of my Steam balance for that price, but the actual Champions autograph was around 18.2 cents per, and I just could not pass up that opportunity. Overall though, I want to know what you guys think about this. I do think there is some potential for these Antwerp capsules. I don't think that every single one is overinvested, but I think we're definitely going to be seeing some that do much better and some that do much worse than others. But as always guys, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.